Everything that you truly want in life, you have. And everything that you have in life, you truly want. Which means that you are depressed because you want to be depressed. You are poor because you want to be poor. You are fat because you want to be fat. You have shitty relationships because you want shitty relationships. You have a dead-end job because you want a dead-end job. Whatever the fuck it is that you could think of, you want. I know most people will disagree with that, but most people also lack self-awareness. But anyone who could take an objective look at the way that they live their life will understand that what I'm saying is absolutely factual. When you are feeling hungry, you find food because you do not want to be hungry. So you change that shit. When you are feeling tired, eventually you go to sleep because you do not want to be tired. So you change that shit. When you are feeling bored, you eventually will find something to entertain yourself because you don't want to be bored. So you change that shit. To you, hunger, sleepiness, and boredom are intolerable, so you do not tolerate them. You do what it takes to put yourself in the position that you want to be in and get out of the one that you do not, which means that anything that you are continuing to allow to take place in your life, you want to take place. If you didn't, you would treat these things just like you treat being tired, being hungry, or being bored. You would do whatever it takes to rectify your problem. When you are sitting somewhere and you find yourself uncomfortable, you move around until you find a different spot. You don't worry about not knowing what the perfect spot or sitting position is. You just fuck around and look for one until you find one that sits right with you. Because if you are truly uncomfortable, you will move somewhere else. And that means that whatever it is, complaints that you have, whatever whining you do about your life and the position and the conditions that you live under, you are actually comfortable there. If you weren't, you would change them, just like you change all of that other shit. If you take a look at anybody, take a look at people who do drugs. People who do drugs and are like for real addicted to shit, the meth heads and the crack addicts and whatnot, don't have any real jobs. Most of them don't even have a fucking place to live. But you know what they do have? Drugs. And you know what they're not getting those drugs for? Free. Because people who sell drugs aren't just running around getting people high for the fuck of it. They are doing it to make money, which means they are getting those drugs in exchange for money. What they truly want in life is to be high. So they do whatever it takes to get money to finance that high. They put that over everything else, eating, shelter, fucking being clean, all of that. Because what's most important to them is their high, so they find a way to make that shit happen. And if you refuse to tolerate poverty in the same way that the junkies refuse to tolerate sobriety, you would be as rich as they are high, but you continue to have no money because you are perfectly fine not having money. If you weren't, then you would find a way to make some money. It's not about knowing what it is that you need to do all of the time. You don't need to know the exact steps to take in order to get somewhere. You just need to head in that fucking direction. If you are in California and what you truly want is to be in New York, you don't need to know exactly how to get there. You just need to generally know that New York is to the east and then start heading east. And if you want to get there bad enough, I guarantee you will continue walking east no matter what the fuck it is that happens. And eventually you will find your way to New York because you will stumble across some sort of signs that say New York is fucking 180, I don't know how fucking far shit is, it's not really relevant, but New York is 186 miles that way. And your determination to get there will get you there in the exact same way that the crackhead's determination to get crack leads them down a path that that ends in them getting crack. If you didn't want to be depressed, if you truly did not want to be depressed and refused to tolerate not being happy, then you would find a way to be happy. You don't need to know what that is when you set out on the quest. You just need to set out on the quest and decide that you are going to get to wherever it is, no matter what it fucking takes. And I guarantee you that shit will happen because at the end of the day, the universe rewards effort. The universe rewards you trying to do things. When you try long enough to make money, you make money. When you try long enough to get in shape, you will get in shape. When you try long enough to be better at anything, you will get better at that thing, even not knowing the specific steps. So all of the excuses that people have about not knowing what to do or they would do it is absolute bullshit. Because if you truly wanted to do it, you would find a fucking way to do it. Just like you find a way to entertain yourself when you are bored. Just like you find a way to get food when you are hungry. People whine all day because they can't control their fucking appetites and can't deal with not having food. But you know what that winds up getting them? Food. Because they refuse to tolerate the condition of hunger. You are tolerating all of this shit that you do not like. You are more opposed to being hungry than you are opposed to being poor, which is why most of the time you are fed. But you are also still poor because you tolerate that shit. You allow it to continue on in your life because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to be poor. If you wanted to make more money, you would find a way to make more money. Once upon a time, many years ago, I smoked a lot of weed. I was smoking about a half ounce of weed every single night, and I rolled them in blunts. And I also smoked Black and Milds. So every single night, I was smoking a half ounce of weed, took like 5 fucking Swishers or Phillies or them little White Owl things, depending on what floated my boat at the time, and a pack of Black and Milds. So every single night, I had to come up with the money to get a half ounce of weed along with the fucking cigars and the Black and Milds. And I was broke as shit, but that didn't stop me, from finding a way to figure out how to smoke at night, because what I really wanted was to smoke at night. I complained about my life. I was broke as shit at the time. I was poor as fuck. I complained about my life. I complained about the car that I drove. I complained about the clothes that I had. I complained about the apartment that I lived in. I complained about the job that I had. I complained about all of that shit. But I had the power to change it. I was just using it towards the wrong shit. I was using it to get high and escape my reality rather than improve my reality. And again, no matter what it was that I told myself, no matter what it was that I complained about, what I really wanted was weed. And what I always had was weed, because you will always find a way to get what it is that you truly want. All of that complaining shit, all of that whining shit, all of the wishing and hoping that things will get better mean abso-fucking-lutely nothing, because you're not actually doing anything about it. And anything that you're not doing about, doing something about, you don't want to change. Otherwise, you would change it the same way that you change all of the other things that you have a fucking problem with. Whenever people go out and they get fucking haircuts every single week because they refuse to tolerate having a fucked up haircut. If you treated your life, if you treated your goals the same way that you treat your fucking haircut, you would be in such a better position. If you treated the things that you want to accomplish the same way that you treat needing to get a certain amount of sleep every night, you would be on top of the fucking world. But what you truly want is a bunch of stupid shit. You desire the wrong things, and you have all of the wrong things. Every single person who swears that they were in a better position in life has all of the time in the world to watch their fucking Netflix shows and their sports and football and basketball and baseball, whatever the fuck other sports it is that people watch. They have the time for these things. They have the money to get Jordans and all kinds of dumbass clothes. They have the time to scroll through social media and comment bullshit on other people's posts. They have the time to do everything in the fucking world because that's what's important to them. They want new shoes, sports stats, and to hate on strangers. That's what they truly want, and that's what it is that they have. If they wanted these goals that they claimed the same way that they want all of this other shit, they would have them, because you would be using your time for productivity rather than to just fuck off and do a whole bunch of nothing. But you want to fuck off and do nothing, which is why you fuck off and do nothing. You could complain about shit, you could wish shit all it is that you want to, but you are never going to will a better life into existence if you're not actually willing to do something about it. And you're not going to do something about it until that is what you want, until continuing to live the same life becomes as intolerable to you as going a few hours without food. You are going to continue living the exact same life. Get your fucking priorities in order, and you will get your fucking life together.